Devontae Davis was in here for a minute. I don't know if he's still in here. I know he
Tank,
has his big.
Tank on here?
Yeah, Tank.
Leave.
Tank. Yeah, well, I don't know if he's still on here. I don't know if he's still on here. I don't know. He might have bounced. I don't know. He might have bounced. He might have bounced. He was only out for a second. Tank, you want to come in, Tank? Can I bring you in? I'd love to bring.
So, Floyd Mayweather just dropped a bombshell and announced his highly anticipated opponent for 2025. Yeah, you heard that right. Come on. It's about time Floyd hangs his gloves for good and walks out with a banger. Oh, and did I mention this might not be your typical exhibition match? We're talking about a fight packed with drama, beef, and a history so intense it could easily be one of the most talked about pay-per-view events in boxing history. First up, let's talk about the man himself, Floyd Mayweather. Love him or hate him, this guy is an absolute legend. He's one of the most successful athletes of all time, with a perfect record of 50 Drew and countless championship titles across multiple weight classes. Floyd's ability to manipulate the ring with his defense, precision, and speed has made him a name synonymous with greatness in the sport of boxing. But his career wasn't always smooth sailing. Early on, he faced critics who doubted his potential, but Floyd overcame every obstacle, making his mark on the sport like few others. After his retirement, Floyd promised that he wouldn't be lured back into the ring unless the deal was right. Well, here we are again, and once again, the world is on edge. His decision to fight in exhibition matches post-retirement has been both a blessing and a curse. For fans, it's an opportunity to see a legend back in action, but for others, they question whether Floyd is still the elite fighter he once was. Either way, the money he brings in and the spectacle of his name has made these exhibitions a hot commodity. Now, we know that Floyd has been keeping his 2025 opponent under wraps for a while. He teased it for months, leaving fans and media on the edge of their seats. Could it be another celebrity? Another YouTuber? Could it be a highly anticipated match with another world champion? Well, Floyd is no stranger to shocking announcements. He's a marketing genius after all. So, it's no surprise that he's kept us waiting for this one.
The roughest fight you ever had, who was it?
The best fighter I ever fought, the best fighter I fought probably was Manny Pacquiao. Because of his movement.
But you made it look easy.
But he's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he made. But the roughest fighter probably was a guy named Emmanuel Augustus.
You talk about the drunken master?
The drunken master.
The drunken master?
It's tough.
Because he was awkward, huh?
He was just tough. And Miguel Cotto was very, very physically strong.
Yeah.
So you got different fighters. Different days you feel a different way.
Now, before we get to the big reveal, let's play a little guessing game. Who could Floyd's final opponent be? There's been a lot of speculation. The names floating around are enough to make any boxing fan salivate. First, let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. A rematch of their iconic 2015 mega fight would definitely draw a crowd. People have been asking for this rematch for years, especially after Manny's retirement. Could this be the time for one last showdown? Both men have been going back and forth on social media, which fueled the idea that this might actually happen.
The best fighter I fought probably was Manny Pacquiao, because of his movement.
But you made it look easy.
But he's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he made.
Then there's Canelo Alvarez, one of the biggest stars in boxing right now.
Canelo was 23 with 43 fights and 30 knockouts, and the world said He was inexperienced. I was 36 with 40-something fights, and to tell you the truth, I was over the hill.
A second showdown with Canelo would be a massive draw, no question. They've shared the ring before, and while Floyd got the victory in 2013, there's no doubt that Canelo has evolved since then. Could Floyd be willing to risk his perfect record for a rematch with the current pound-for-pound king?
How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow.
And let's not forget Conor McGregor. Floyd's final opponent for 2025 is someone much closer to home, a fighter who's been with him through thick and thin, but with a relationship that's been, let's say, a little rocky. We're talking about none other than Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Yep, that's right. Floyd's very own protege.
So Tank, how would you fight Floyd in his prime? Like if you were to fight Floyd, like in
don't
his prime,
fight him.
If you guys were both in the, yeah.
Don't fight him. I wouldn't fight him. I mean, Floyd was good. He was top tier. I mean, me, I feel as though I could compete with any top fighter. I'm not saying me going at Floyd, but I'm saying like I feel as though my skills. I feel like my skills, and not to take nothing from Floyd, but I feel like my skills can compete with anybody that ever laced up a boxing glove.
You're crazy to watch, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you hit like a fucking train.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Appreciate
fucking...
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why Gervonta Davis? Floyd has been associated with Gervonta from the start of his career. For years, Floyd has been his manager, trainer, and mentor. The idea of Gervonta being the chosen one to carry Floyd's torch was always part of the plan. But there's one problem. The two haven't exactly been on the best of terms lately. Gervonta has become a massive star in his own right. With a ferocious knockout record, electrifying performances in the ring, and a growing fan base, Gervonta has steadily made a name for himself, often getting compared to Floyd in terms of fighting style and potential. The idea of Gervonta stepping out of Floyd's shadow, however, hasn't sat well with money.
We do
That's how he
have time
feels.
for it.
If he's upset with me over me being good to him, over me helping him, he can be upset.
I mean, that's
I'm
fair.
not mad at him though.
Right.
He's entitled to be upset.
The two have had public disagreements over the years. Floyd has often been criticized for holding Gervonta back, keeping him under his control. Gervonta, on the other hand, has fired back, claiming that Floyd wasn't giving him the opportunities or recognition he deserved. The tension between these two has been palpable for quite some time, and it's only grown as Gervonta's star continued to rise. Let's break down the beef a little further. Their relationship started with Floyd taking Gervonta under his wing, mentoring him, and helping him with big fights early on. But the issues started bubbling up once Gervonta felt like he was ready to move on and make his own decisions. There were rumors that Floyd was controlling Gervonta's career and that Gervonta was getting frustrated with the lack of autonomy. Floyd, of course, has denied these claims, insisting that his guidance was necessary for Gervonta to reach the highest levels of boxing. The public fallout came when Gervonta began to distance himself from Mayweather Promotions. He started calling out Floyd for not giving him the credit he deserved, particularly when it came to managing his own fights and career decisions. At one point, Gervonta said he was tired of being under Floyd's shadow. Then Floyd responded in his usual style, with shade. In interviews, Floyd has downplayed Gervonta's accomplishments, often saying things like, "He's got potential, but he's still got a long way to go before he's on my level." Ouch, right? Things have gotten even messier recently, with both men taking shots at each other through social media. It's safe to say their relationship has gone from mentor-mentee to full-blown rivals.
Love that. Last question. Are we going to see Davis Garcia 2, the rematch?
It all depends. I mean, because, you know, it's up to them two.
Right.
Still a big money fight.
Huge.
It was a hell of a fight. First fight. Like I said, it was a minor setback, but a major comeback in his last fight.
Right.
Hot back, made some millions, enjoying life, living life. That's what it's about.
Now, with all this bad blood between them, it's no surprise that they've decided to settle things in the ring. Floyd's 2025 opponent, being Gervonta Davis, is a statement in itself. This is the fight that will settle the debate once and for all. Who is the true face of boxing? Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Davis?
Like, I gotta do that.
A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause I feel like y'all got, I would say love and hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him. And I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of
deal. He don't know about that yet. But that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing it.
It's exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal?
Yeah.
Ain't no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
But here's the twist. Gervonta has hinted that this could be his last fight, too. That's right, folks. Gervonta Davis might be hanging up the gloves after this showdown.
Are you retiring?
What changed? What made you
Trash, garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like, talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby usually they're around to
You might be gaining love for it though. You never know. Like say you got a squawk today.
He's been vocal about his desire to retire from the sport sooner rather than later. Gervonta has achieved so much at such a young age, undefeated, with a slew of titles and knockouts, and he's been vocal about shifting his focus to other ventures.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
After our second fight. You're out of it?
Yeah,
Care to elaborate on that?
out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
It's clear that both of these fighters are at crossroads in their careers. For Floyd, this might be his final curtain call. For Gervonta, it's an opportunity to prove himself, but also an exit point from the sport that has defined his life. For Floyd, it's about ending his career on a high note, maintaining his perfect record, and going out with a bang. He's been unbeatable in the ring, and a loss to Gervonta would tarnish his legacy in ways he may not want to deal with.
He may or may not fight guys like Shakur or Devin. What would his legacy be then in your eyes?
I think his legacy will be in his time, which he need to be respected for, that Tank did what most of the greats did in their time. One ballot, as far as I'm concerned, Hall of Famer. So based on that, in his time, as far as his era, where it was loaded with fighters or fights and fighters that could have fought each other and they didn't. Every era has that same situation. I don't think that ever gonna go away or ever would be something dismissed from eras of conversation. But I think Tank Davis, you know, understand his path and going to go by what he feels. Hey, he's young still, might change his mind, who knows? Something might happen in the next 1 or 2 fights where there's an automatic repeat or rewind of something spectacular on his way out.
For Gervonta, it's about proving he's more than just Floyd's protege and showing the world that he's a champion in his own right. Beating Floyd, especially in an exhibition, would send a loud and clear message. I'm my own man.
He was a young kid, came up to me when he was a kid, wanted an autograph. I signed his phone for him and told him, you'll be world champion someday, and I'll be your promoter. Years later, he was working with some people from our team, because our team is huge. We got guys in DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York, all around. He won a few fights. I think he was like 8 or 9-0. I told him, in under 24 months, you'll be world champion. Made the right moves, put him in the right position. He's a multi-millionaire now.
Absolutely.
He was a kid that couldn't even buy a bus ticket. Now he's a
So, what does this fight mean for the future of boxing? If this is truly the last hurrah for both Floyd and Gervonta, it marks the end of an era. These two fighters have dominated the boxing landscape for years, and losing them would be a massive blow to the sport.
A new deal, 7-fight deal, which is music to the ears of many boxing fans. You get to see you in action for several more years. What type of names are we talking about in those 7 names?
Whoever you name, they could be in it.
If I name some fighters, can you say yes or no?
Yep.
Shakur Stevenson?
Yep.
Ryan Garcia?
Yep.
Devin Haney?
Yep.
Isak Cruz?
Yeah, but there's 2 people I already beat already, but yeah.
Errol Spence?
Outside the ring.
Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. Yeah, September, November.
Teofimo Lopez?
Yeah.
Out of all of those guys, who do you think is the most difficult opponent for you?
Floyd Mayweather.
However, it's also an opportunity for the new generation of boxers to rise. The sport is full of incredible talent waiting to take center stage. From fighters like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson to the rise of guys like Teofimo Lopez, there's no shortage of talent looking to carve their own legacy. But let's be real, Floyd and Gervonta will be impossible to replace. All right, folks, there you have it. Floyd Mayweather versus Gervonta Davis in 2025. It's the fight we didn't know we needed, but now we can't wait to see it. Will Floyd go out on top, or will Gervonta finally step out of his shadow and take the crown? We'll just have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, this is a fight you don't want to miss. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments who you're rooting for. I'll see you in the next one.